Hey everybody, it's Diandra Marie, and right now I am sitting down with the founder of Locks of Promise, Kim Parrales. How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well. We're going to jump right into it. I mean, Locks of Promise is an upcoming company where you engrave different sayings or, whatever the organization requests on locks. And I think that's really, really cool. So let's start from just your background. At a young age, you wanted to be a missionary,
Yeah.
but at a young age. So you said your mom wasn't really cool with that because it's a lot of traveling. But what prompted you to want to be a missionary at such a young age?
The thing is, I grew up in a neighborhood where the church was really, really strong, and I used to go to church at a really early age, when we were maybe 9-10 years old, and it was like a youth group, and me and my sister, we used to go every Sunday, and we used to play with other kids and read the Bible and all that. And I guess I really pay attention to the Word of God, back then. And for me, it's a lot of the way that I interpret the Bible was you have to be good to your neighbor. It's not about praying and this and that. For me, it was more about being good to one another. And I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do good things with other people, not just my friends or my family, but people in general. So growing up, I continued going to the youth group. My sister didn't. She was like, that's not for me. And I continued studying the Bible and studying and whatnot. So I guess I just wanted to do it. I wanted to be involved in that environment. That was my thing. And I saw a lot of our kind of leaders over there that they wanted to, they wanted to travel. They used to do things like that and that. But I think that one moment that made me kind of be okay, this is what I want to do, was the first time that we volunteer for this little town that we have over there that is really, really poor. They don't even have a proper bathroom, nothing. Their school was made of, it was a little square with just wood, and that's it, So what we did before that, we went to different houses, knock on the door and ask for different things like food, toys, or if they have clothing, or they have newspapers and magazines, so we can recycle and then sell that, and then from that take money and use it for other things. So we did that for 3 months before the actual day. Then the day off, we had someone cook different things, and we brought toys and whatnot. So we went to this little town. It was maybe 2 hours away from when we were living over there, and we met the kids and their parents, and we were playing with the kids, and and these kids were so cute. They were so humble. They were excited just to see us there, just to have contact with other type of people, and play and whatnot. So when we're giving them the toys and the food, they were so grateful, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do this. This is the type of people that I want to help. This is the type of people I want to interact with. I continue going to church and whatnot, and then one day, you said, my mom said no. It's they had an opening to be a missionary, and kids could go too. I was I think 13 or 12 at that time, and I was like, this is my chance. So I go home and I tell my mom, I want to go back. She was like, absolutely not. She was like, you need to finish school. You need to do this and that. There's no way you're gonna go. So I was heartbroken, but I said, you know what? All right, I'm gonna continue going to church and help. But then I kind of disconnected myself from the religion. I didn't really agree with a lot of things from the Catholic Church, but I continued going to help and volunteer. I didn't go to mass, or I didn't go to the youth group, because I just feel that it was not a connection anymore, but I continue helping them in other ways. And then after that, I moved to the United States, and I kind of stopped that, and I started college and whatnot. So that's what happened.
And just so for the listeners, when you say over there, you're from Ecuador,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, what part of Ecuador?
Guayaquil.
Oh, Guayaquil.
It's with the beach and all that stuff are around. I mean, my house, we were in the city, but we were an hour away from the beach.
I mean, now that you're done with college and everything, do you still kind of want to be a missionary?
Well, then when I was done with college, 5 years ago, I think, yeah, I started to volunteer. I became a mentor this program in Hackensack, New Jersey. And I was a mentor to 2 kids for about maybe, I think 3 years or so. Yeah. But then I stopped doing it because I started college again, school. I wanted to go for my master's and stuff like that. So it was kind of hard to keep up, and it was really tough because in order to become a mentor, you have to be there. You have to give their time, and it was just too much going on. So I kind of decided to kind of quit that in a sense, because I felt like I was not giving my all, and it's not fair for the kids, But then I studied Lux of Promise. So to me, it's like, in a sense, I'm still like volunteering. I'm still doing like, I have a mission, you know what I mean? So, of course, I would love to, go to other countries and do that. But like right now, I feel like, I live here, and there are so many social issues in this country that I feel like I'm going to help the people over here, and then I'll probably worry about people in other countries, you know what I mean? Because, I see all these companies that they go to Africa, they go this and that, but I'm like, that's great, that's great, but I feel like here at home we have so many issues, and nobody, people think that United States is so rich, but it's not, but that's another topic. Yeah, that's another discussion. But but in that sense, I think deep down I still want to be a missionary, you know what I mean? So yeah,
just to keep helping out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, just going back just a little bit more, as you started to reach adulthood, you lived at a youth transitional living program.
Yeah.
So please explain what that is, and then what your role was.
Okay, well, for those who don't know what a transitional living program is, that's basically a program provided by the state. It's for kids that don't have a place to live, or they come from different backgrounds. Let's say they've been in shelters, or they've been in part of the system, and social workers or whoever is in charge, think that they can be part of this program, to help them kind of survive and learn independent skills and all that, so they place them there. But it's really hard to get in this type of programs, because you need to be part of the system. Back then I wasn't part of the system, and I was too old, to be in it. But thankfully, one of the girls that I used to go to college with, she kind of overheard my story, and then I have a place to live and whatnot. So she talked to the people over there and told them, listen, this girl, she doesn't have a place to live. Can we do something? So the ladies at the house, right? They say, yeah, okay, sure. Let's have an interview. So they interviewed me. They liked me, and they allowed me to stay there. So it's like an apartment, pretty much. And there are 5 kids. The capacity at that specific program is 5 girls, and you have to go to school, and you have to work. If you don't have a job, they help you to find a job. Like what they want you to be is like someone like useful for society, someone that like just a regular person. I'll be like, oh, I'm just like part of the system, and I'm just gonna receive help from the government. No, they want you to like learn all these things. So, and we have curfews. We had to show our paycheck, and it was serious. Like, they want you to be someone like good, So I lived there for like a year and a half, I will say, and then but it was pretty interesting. It was like I met a lot of people that they came from different backgrounds, domestic violence, drug abuse and whatnot. And I learned a lot. Like, it kind of opened up my eyes to what the world is, and that kind of has been like my inspiration, I guess, to kind of help others, because I know what it is. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people want to help others, but they don't know what's really going on. And they have this, oh, we should do this and this. But what I always tell people, sometimes it takes for you to be street in order to help street. You know what I mean? So, that kind of helped me a lot, So I lived there for a year and a half, and then they helped me find an apartment through like Section 8, but for younger people. And, after that, I had a job after, when I was in college, found an apartment, bought my car, and that's it. So, I have to be very, very thankful with them, because they kind of set up the foundation, for the person that I am right now, I guess. So, yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome. That's really good, especially that you're humble enough to just say, hey, I don't have a place to live. Can you help me? You know what I mean? Because some people are really too proud to, like you were going to school. Some people who are going to school, especially college, like, I don't need help with anything, So I think that's awesome. And you went on, of course, to found Locks of Promise in October 2014. But you're not a professional jewelry maker. What made you want to use locks, or what made you want to use jewelry as your staple for your company?
It kind of started more like in November, December, Locks of Promise. But in October, I said, because that's when the whole thing started, type of thing, like the idea was planted. But back in Ecuador, me and my best friend She's actually a jewelry designer. Yeah, it's funny. Like, so we used to like do this little bracelets out of. Yeah, it was like so cool. But you know, she kind of got more into it than I did because she actually went to school for that. Like, I don't know. Like last year, I started to do. I had this obsession with the banjo earrings or the ones that have the little cuffs with the chains. All right, so I started like getting obsessed with them, and I started like I said, you know what? Let me learn how to make them. So I bought the materials and I started like creating my own. I used to like post them like who did like, and people liked it. So I started like making some and then engrave them with like an engraver, right? And I used to give it to my friends, just like birthday gifts or whatever, So that was cool. And then one day I was like looking for something in one of my drawers, here in the house, and I found a small lock, like pretty cool. It looked vintage, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. So I had this idea, maybe I could engrave on it, Like around that time, people started wearing locks as jewelry, like Chanel started with those huge locks with diamonds, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own, So I took the lock and I engraved "Be Brave," with a pen, but it didn't really look nice. So I was like, you know what? Let me see how can I engrave something better on metal, like that metal. So I started researching and whatnot. So I got the stamps and I actually, stamped, the Be Brave, the same thing. So I started wearing it as a pendant, and people sometimes I will go, because I used to dance before. So I used to go to like different socials and stuff like that and wear it, and people will be like, oh, what's that? And then they start making fun of me, saying like, oh, your luck now, who has the key to your luck? And I'm like, ay Dios. I was like, serious. I was like, no, it's just like, so people liked it. He's like, oh, I want one. And I'm like, I left it like that. So then around the same time, I started working with one of our sorority sisters, Nicole James. She has a domestic violence awareness program called Faith and Hope. But she left it like kind of, like a break because she had a kid, and, life gets hard. So I messaged her. I'm like, listen, hey, what's up with Faith and Hope, And she's like, oh my God, it's funny that you mentioned it because I've been thinking about it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it again. I'll help you. She's like, yeah, really. So we were working on that. So one day I was thinking about life, and I was like, okay, I want to kind of connect locks with, the locks that I'm making with the domestic violence program. So I started thinking, okay, locks, what do they represent? They can represent safety, security, and strength, right? So when someone is in an abusive relationship, the one thing that makes them stay is fear that they won't find another partner, fear that, financial stability and all that. So when they do decide to leave, the one thing they want to feel is safe. So I was like, oh my God, locks, safety, domestic violence. So I presented the idea to her, and she loved it. She's like, let's do it. So I was like, okay, maybe I could make these locks and then sell them on the program whenever we'll give it, and then we'll fund the program, because sometimes people don't have money to pay, to fund it. So we will do it for free. So, just to cover like transportation and stuff like that. So, but then, she started doing her own thing, like writing a book. It's coming out soon. And then she kind of left, we left Faith and Hope like in a pause. Right. So she's like, just keep doing your thing, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, fine. So then that's when I started, okay, how am I going to name this? Locks of Promise. I was like, because when we make a promise, we make it to ourselves or to other people, we want to keep it. And sometimes it's hard to keep promises. So I said, okay, that the lock could be the symbol is, the symbol that we're going to keep the promise, and we carry with ourselves. We're going to be reminded all the time of that. And then I also kind of like related it with, like the bridge in Paris where they have the locks. I said, you know what, people go there, and they promise love to each other, or friends go there, oh, we're going to be friends forever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, this is perfect. So I say, I'm going to call it Locks of Promise. And little by little, I started kind of like changing the whole thing, because I didn't want to just focus on domestic violence. I wanted to, focus on other things like homeless, helping people, getting like clean water and different things, So now it's like where I'm at the point where I think, okay, locks can represent more than just safety. It could be transformed from a negative symbol. Like people can see a lock and they can see, I don't know, like restriction. Right. They could be incarceration. It could be something like limit, and I want that to transform that and make it kind of like empowerment. Because it's all about empowering other people.
You mentioned you work with Faith and Hope. I mean, you've also collaborated with other organizations like the Pack Hope Project, Prayers for Dylan, and most recently the Think, Act, Believe Youth Development Program. So how does that work? How can an organization collaborate with Locks of Promise?
It's not that hard. I mean, what I tell people, I love to work with non-for-profits that are small. They're local type of thing. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I respect big organizations like, St. Jude's and the Cancer Society, whatever, but I feel that they're more kind of like a business type of thing, like they have so many investors, it's just another level. So I feel like the little ones, the ones that are just starting, the ones that are more hands-on, I would say, like, people kind of tend to ignore it. They don't know that this organization exists, so for me it's like, okay, if I'm able to collaborate with them, I'm putting them out there, because you never know who is in need of an organization like that. So that's why I posted okay, this month we collaborate with such and such, and we're gonna do this and this and that, and you never know, maybe that person needs someone to be part of the program. I don't know, it's just like so many ways to help. But if they want to collaborate, they can always email, locksofpromise@gmail.com, and then I like to talk to people. I like to talk to the founders or whoever's in charge, whatever, and just like kind of like talk about ideas, like how can we make this happen? Because what I tell people is like, I don't only like to give the money, I want to be part of it. Like, I want to volunteer. Like, if they need a program, let's put it together. Okay. If they need me to speak to the kids about, I don't know, confidence or empowerment or whatever, I'm there, so that's what I like, and a way that I could be part of it too. Not just, okay, let me give them money and that's it. Because I want to know what is it about, because at the end of the day, I want to know what they're going to use the money for. It's not that I don't trust them. It's just that, I need to know, because in other ways, people want to know too. People that buy the locks, they want to, okay, I like it, but I'm also contributing to society, but I want to know how I'm using my money. And that's what I always tell the people and the organizations. And I'm like, I trust you, and I know you're doing great things because I see it. Right. But I need for my customers and the followers to know how they're spending their money. Right. So it's not that hard. Just email me and we'll talk.
Okay. So I think that's awesome. But I want to ask, you volunteer with the organizations you work with, but do you feel that Locks of Hope is kind of parallel to volunteering in the sense that you creating the locks and bringing awareness? Do you feel like that's kind of volunteering to you, or would you still rather be a lot more hands-on? Where's the fine line between Locks of Promise and volunteering, for you at least?
Well, yeah, no, you're right on that thing that you say that, okay, making the locks and then also bringing awareness, that's kind of like a type of volunteer, because, they're not paying me for marketing, you know what I mean? But I just feel that it's something that if it's in my hands, like if I could do it, why not? Even like people ask me, how much are you giving away? And I'm like, well, 50% of the profits. It's not that I'm making the whole thing. And I'm like, why so much? And I'm like, why not? It's like, I have my 9-to-5 job, like I have my job and everything, and that's that. And then I have this Locks of Promises, like, my business on the side, and I love it. You never know. I'll probably quit sometime soon, but
good.
No, exactly. But in the meantime, if I am able to do this, like, why not? That's what I feel. It's like people sometimes like, oh, you know what, but you're doing too much. I'm like, yeah, but I like it. Right. I feel that that's the whole mission behind, Locks of Promise is about empowering people. Because if I could help them somehow in any way, if it's not that hard for me to do it, why not? It's like, it's a little push that people need, and for now, I think it's okay. I guess, like, as it grows, maybe we'll have to kind of figure out a way where we can, but right now it's good. I feel like, making the locks, and I think it's like, people think that I give locks to all the organizations, but it's if they want to. Let's say, for example, there was one organization like 2 months ago, she wanted the kids to have a lock. So I did it. We did it, and we give it to them as like kind of like a graduation type of thing. But I also, donated the 50%, that I earned that month. But other organizations don't need it. They don't want it, or they just don't feel the need that, they don't want to do it. So it's not that I give every organization a lock. It's not like that. Unless they wanted to make it a special event. Mm-hmm. Then I'll do it, okay. But it's not that I'm just giving away everything, because then it wouldn't like work out. I'll be like, okay, you know what, I'm not
making any money.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, and but yeah, so it's just for me, it's all about empowering people, okay. And with every little thing that you do in life, I feel you can help anyone. It's just it's a matter of just like doing it, and that's it.
I definitely agree with that. Now, it's obvious you give back by volunteering, but I want for people who are just only content with giving money, not really caring where it goes, you'll just donate. How important is it to give back non-monetarily, without just giving money? How important is that for the society? If you could do like a soup kitchen, or you know what I mean? Like, instead of giving to a homeless shelter, why don't you help feed the homeless? You know what I mean? Like, how important is that?
Well, like I said before, it's all about, empowering people. I feel like, let's say you say I feed the homeless, right? For example, sometimes there are homeless that they don't even care about the money. They don't care just about talking to someone, and even if you don't have nothing to give them, like even food or whatever, but it's just there, just showing that you care a little bit, that there's someone in this world that are human, because sometimes people see a homeless person or whatever and they're like, you know what, I'm not gonna even look at him, I'm not gonna touch it, blah blah blah, and they ignore it. They're like, they mistreat them. But people need that, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We need that sense of importance. And I think it happens with everybody in the world. One of our biggest thing is that we need to feel important to someone. Right. It's simple as that. No matter what people say, I think everyone craves that. So it's true. Like, you always want to feel important to something, to someone, and just saying hello, talking, saying some kind words, or like even just reading the Bible to someone if you believe or whatever. That's the thing. So to me, it's more about interaction, and touching someone's life than just giving them money. But it's not that direct. Right. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, let me just give you, and that's it, and then go on with life. But if you kind of build, let's say, a relationship with a person, communication, you never know how much that's going to inspire them, and move them to make other moves. Like, for example, we have with Paco Project, my friend, what she does is that every 2 months or 3 months, like, she gets donations, like backpacks, and then we put like different things inside, like wipes and things like essentials. So what she does, she has an outreach, and people, let's say 15 volunteers, and what we did once is that we went to New York, and we were just with our backpacks, like 4 backpacks each, and then we would just go and not only give the backpack, but we will talk to the person. We will go, and it's like, how are you doing? Listen to their stories. And some of them, they will cry because they couldn't believe that there exist people like that. They just wanted to be listened. And sometimes she even helps them. Like, she goes and it's like, oh, you need money for an ID or to get something, like, you'll do that. So it's like a whole movement. It's about helping people to get back up, and that to me is more important than just giving money. It's more about like pushing you to, because you never know the story behind it. You never know. So to me, like, interaction with the people that needs it is more important than the money.
Ooh, I've started tearing a little bit. No, seriously, I like the fact that somebody else, a homeless person, started crying, because all they want is to be noticed at the end of that's not all they want. They want a home, I would assume. Okay. But other than that, they want someone to know that they're a person, because I've seen it. I've been to New York, and you just see so many people, and they just walk by them, don't even look at them, don't even give anything, and it makes me sad. It really does. And to see they'll sit out there all day and have like not even a whole $1 in their cup, you know what I mean? Not even enough to get something to drink, a coffee, you know what I'm saying? Like, the little things. But I think that Locks of Promise brings awareness. I think it does empower people, and I feel like it can also be a movement to empower people to want to help other people and interact with those who really need it. And I think that's awesome. But what can we look forward to? What's in the near future for Locks of Promise? Any collaborations, any events you're doing? What can we expect?
Well, actually, I'm like working on like a few things. It's just like, so much going on. But I try. My goal is to have like an event every month. Okay. Just like I tell you, even if I don't sell, at this event, thank God I have, but even if I don't sell, at least I know that someone new is going to know about Locks of Promise. You know what I mean? It's not about just like about the money. Obviously it will be awesome, but it's more okay. Now people come and ask me, what is this? Like, what do you do? So just talking to different people, like, oh my God, it's awesome, so that's the whole point, you know what I mean? So I'm going to keep doing, different events. The next event that I'm going to have, it's going to be in August, I believe 13, with, Mike the Poet. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he's going to be in New York. And when I saw that he was, asking for vendors, I was like, I'm on it. Right. I think it's perfect because, you know, his tour is called Just Words. And, you know, obviously I hand stamp words on locks. So, because sometimes people don't know how powerful words are, you know, and like you said, sometimes, you know, like it's not about empowering people that needs it, you know, like, but also other people to help others. But to me, it's more about how important is this little object for some, because I have received messages, emails, like when I started, like he's like, oh, I want you to stamp, let's say be fearless, whatever, and they tell me why they want the word and how it makes them feel, and I'm like, wow, you know, like I don't ask people why you want the word, but they tell me and they open up, and I'm like, wow, it's like society nowadays, it's just like, you know, they hide their emotions, their feelings, and they're craving for something else, you know, out there. Like it's crazy. So I'm like, people nowadays, like different brands are like making this whole like change, you know, like this whole movement about like helping others through different words, like phrases, and it just empowers people. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, you know what, I got this, you know, like there's hope in life, you know, because there's some people that are just like so depressed, and you never know. But so for me, Locks of Promise is going to continue doing that through the locks, and I have like new things that I want to, like new products, and it not only includes locks, like I want to do more things, you know what I mean, but that's coming some future. But for like now is that I want to kind of like I was telling people, like I want to kind of change a little bit like the whole giving motto. I want people like young, especially young people, I want them to work with Locks of Promise. And one thing is that it's funny because I have one intern now, and he was part of one of the youth group that we did on April. April. Yeah, he was one of the kids that got a lock, you know, so thing. So one day we were this like gala thing that they had with the parents and the teachers, whatever, and he came up to me. And a lot of kids were like, "Oh my God, I wear it all the time." They were wearing it. I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cute." So he came and he told me, hey, so he asked me actually. He was like, how do you make them? You know, and I was like, well, I explained it. He's like, so it's just you now? And I said, yeah, for now. And then he's like, okay. He said, what are you gonna do when you get older? And I'm like, I smile and I was like, yeah, I laugh, and I was like, but to me it was like such a powerful question, because he expects Locks of Promise to like be on, you know, like, and I'm like, wow, this kid believes in me, you know, and that touched me. So I was like, well, by that time I'm gonna have help, you know. And I was like, it's funny because I was thinking that I wanted to have the kids work with, you know, because I feel like sometimes young people are so creative, you know, so I could use them for anything, you know, like seriously. So he's like, I want to do it. And I'm like, whoa, like this is too fast. And he's like, I want to do it. I want to work for Locks of Promise. And I'm like, well, right now I can't really pay you a lot of money. He's like, I don't care. And he's like, it could be an internship. And I'm like, wow. I could feed you, but you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know. And he's like, I want to do it. So I met up with him after a few weeks, and I spoke with his mom and everything. His mom loved it. And so we're working on that because he actually wants to stamp the locks, which is like amazing. So we're doing that. But you know, I want to work with kids like that. I want them to be kind of like the face of Locks of Promise. I want them to be an example for society. I want them to be example for kids of like the same age. But at the same time, I also want to work with a formerly incarcerated youth. Like that's like, I'm so passionate about that. It's like, it's crazy. And I want them to be part of it, to show people that people deserve second chances, you know, like. And so it's like a lot going on, you know, but that's who I want to have in my team, you know, for now. And even though Locks of Promise is small, so it's growing little by little, and it's doing great, thank God. And so yeah, that's what I want to do. So yeah, I mean, little by little thing, you know, new things are coming up. I'm always having like this crazy ideas, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna make it happen. If it fails, you know what, at least I try. You know, to me it's like, you know, I don't have the perfect answer, I don't have the perfect plan at all. But I know that somehow this is working out for some people, and it's okay, you know. So I'm happy, and let's see how it goes, you know. Yeah,
that's great. I mean, the fact that you're so passionate about it, you always have ideas. I mean, if you said, "Oh, nothing is coming up," I'd be a little nervous. Like, "Oh, nothing. I'm not working on anything. Just making the locks." No, I think that's awesome. So for anyone who wants to rock a lock, make sure you go to locksofpromise.com if you want to get in contact with Kim on how to collaborate your organization, or if you're one of those youths that want to help and intern, make sure you email her at locksofpromise@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Kim, for sitting down with me. I know by the end of this then if somebody listening to this interview, they're going to want to get out and help the community a lot more. I know I feel inspired to do so. So not only does, like I said, your company inspire people, you as a person inspires people to want to do better. I'm honored. Thank you for sitting down with me. I appreciate it. For everybody on itsdiandramarie.com, again, make sure you go to locksofpromise.com and rock a lock, right? Rock a lock.
Yes, rock a lock.